Right now at noon, Southeast Kansas hospitals and mental health centers unite for patients to expand rural access in the four-state area.
And our temperatures are warming up. It's still a bit on the breezy side. Take a look at those Christmas decorations. Got to look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a Joplin outreach group serving meals outside City Hall is pushing back after being asked to relocate.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
One person is injured in a crash involving a semi and a train near Cherryvale. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Samantha Walker. The crash happened Tuesday on Highway 169 on the railroad crossing just north of Cherryvale. Authorities say the semi failed to stop and crashed with the rail car of the passing train. The semi was hauling a trailer load of cattle. The driver was airlifted to an area hospital with serious injuries. Several cattle were safely removed and transported to their destination, though some animals were hurt. Authorities in Jasper County respond to an early morning crash yesterday on Interstate 44. Responders say the crash mainly involved two semis whose trailers had broken open and spilled paper plates and small food items. Other vehicles were damaged by hitting items in the road. No word yet on the number of injuries. We'll have updates on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we are warm, we are windy, we are warmer than yesterday, and we are just as windy as yesterday across the area. Live look downtown Pittsburgh. We've got some clouds. That's what I said. It's a mix of those mostly clear to partly cloudy skies out there. Quick look at the numbers from yesterday. 35 is where we started, so 5 degrees above normal. This is pretty close to normal for us. 50 is where we made it for our highs out there. And I wanted to bring up these current conditions because this breaks down some of the wind speeds for us. Also, the air is extremely dry. The fire danger is up there, so really no outdoor burning. But we're at 56 in Joplin. Those winds south-southwest at 16 with gusts up to 29. Now, 25 was about the expectation, but some up to 30 was not out of the question, and that's what we're seeing. On the Pittsburgh side, we're at 54, southwest winds at 14, gusting to 25, and again, still very dry air out there. Temperatures across the region look like this, though. We are warming. We're in the low to mid 50s, and then down south, we're into the upper 50s. So again, right in this zone here, some low 60s for highs today. Not out of the question by any means. We'll eventually fall back through the low 50s into the upper 40s by about 11 o'clock tonight. While those partly cloudy skies still breezy, wind shifting out of the west overnight ahead of an approaching cold front tomorrow morning. Breakdown details on that front and a much bigger cool down this weekend here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. Law enforcement and emergency response agencies in Newton County participate in an active threat exercise. Officers and EMTs simulated an active shooter situation and a criminal gas leak situation to broaden their response tactics. Active threat training gives first responders real-world experience working in a high-stakes situation.
I think it's important that the community knows that we're out here training. And we're, preparing for that scenario that we hope we never have to face. But what we want them to know is that if we do have a scenario like this, we're prepared for that and we're going to be able to respond.
The Newton County Sheriff's Office thanks Sheepshed Church for offering their facilities for the training. Well, Southeast Kansas hospitals and mental health centers unite for patients in the four-state area. A number of Southeast Kansas healthcare providers have come together to form a new coalition. Southeast Kansas Health includes Labette Health, Wilson Medical Center, Labette Center for Mental Health Services, Ford County Mental Health Center Incorporated, and Southeast Kansas Mental Health Center. The coalition aims to get residents the right care close to home.
Maybe we have psychiatry services here. Maybe we have wound care services here that are referred to. Maybe we have swing bed services that other facilities can utilize. So it's a benefit for patients. It's keeping them in Southeast Kansas versus transferring, to Oklahoma or to other states.
Each participating organization will have a board member that will regularly discuss the vision and goals for the coalition with its fellow organizations. Well, a Joplin outreach group serving meals outside City Hall is being asked to relocate. City leaders say the setup is causing access concerns, but volunteers believe the location is essential. KOAM's Blake Goley has more from the group's efforts to serve the community.
I'm here asking you to relocate.
On behalf of
I'm trying to do it nicely.
On behalf of
the City of Joplin.
Louder, please.
The City of Joplin.
The City of Joplin would like what?
For you to be successful in feeding people and going to
but not on public property.
I'm standing outside of Joplin City Hall on the same sidewalk that Hopeful Bites provides meals to those in need. But now the city says that same outreach is causing a problem and they would like the group to move. The group says their work matters in this location and they're pushing back.
The city has an obligation to help the people in the community. And if they're not willing to do so, maybe one of the organizations that gets tax benefits would be willing to do so. If not, then there's a very large problem that needs addressed, and we will be here until it is addressed.
In a letter provided to the group, the city says locating such services on any city sidewalk within the right-of-way presents multiple potential ordinance violations. The letter also states the current location has a negative impact on city operations, including foot traffic in the nearby trolley stop. For now, the group plans to continue offering meals outside of City Hall. Reported in Joplin, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
The city says several local shelters, including Watered Gardens, Souls Harbor, and the Salvation Army, have offered to host a group if they choose to relocate. Well, coming up, Missouri residents submit a petition with hundreds of thousands of signatures in opposition of redrawn congressional maps. And later, we're making marmalade Dijon pork chops in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. A group of Missouri residents is moving forward with a petition to block a newly proposed congressional map. As John Lieber reports, the group People, Not Politicians say they have the numbers to back it up.
The show me state. You're going to have to show us, give us a good reason. You just can't pull this kind of stunt for no reason.
Members of People, Not Politicians delivered nearly 300,000 signatures to halt the state legislature's newly passed congressional district map. The initiative petition is one of the largest referendum turn-ins in Missouri history.
It is about putting people's voices into action. Every box that you carry, every sheet, carries the aspirations of a Missourian.
The submission effectively places a hold on the map approved by lawmakers in September until voters can weigh in at the ballot box next November. The new map, drawn to help President Donald Trump hold on to a Republican majority in the U.S. House, focuses on Metro Kansas City, splitting one area, now represented by Democrat Emanuel Cleaver, into 3 congressional districts, none of them winnable by Democrats.
People see that as, well, what's the emergency here? What's the change that we need to make? When the answer to that is the change is about achieving a partisan goal, then it becomes very clear to Missourians.
Assuming the map achieves its purpose, the new map would give the GOP a 7-1 majority in the Show Me State. Republican Missouri Secretary of State Denny Hoskins indicated he would invalidate some 92,000 signatures because they were collected before October 15th, when the petition was approved by his office. A Cole County judge is considering a People Not Politicians lawsuit against Hoskins, a suit that claims such invalidation violates the Constitution.
The idea of silencing Missourians' voices who are expressing their constitutional right will never be water under the bridge for us. It will never be inconsequential.
Even without the 92,000 signatures, the group still surpasses the 107,000 valid signatures needed to place this issue on the ballot.
I'm very confident that when the signatures are checked, we are going to have enough signatures to qualify.
But Von Glahn says they will not drop the court battle over signatures collected before October 15th.
Because those signatures are representations of Missourians petitioning their government for redress. Core First Amendment fundamental rights, the things that we learn about in grade school.
In a separate case, a federal judge Monday refused to back a challenge by Republican Attorney General Catherine Hanaway and other GOP leaders that sought to prevent a statewide vote on redistricting. Judge Zachary Bluestone said the federal court lacked jurisdiction in the matter.
Well, referendum votes in Missouri are automatically set for the upcoming November election unless the General Assembly approves an earlier date during its regular session that begins in January. The signatures still must be formally verified by election authorities. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
60 years ago, Americans spent about 90 minutes a day eating dinner together. Now, that time has dwindled to a pathetic 12 minutes. So, what can we do?
There are lots of things we could probably do, like always remembering to turn your microphone on. Works better that way. We are tracking a big temperature drop this weekend. Details when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon on this Thursday afternoon. Getting closer to the weekend, but the weekend is going to bring some less pleasant temperature changes. I know we've been up and down the last few days, and we're not quite done with it yet, but we're really going to drop as we head into Saturday night. We're going to get to that in just a moment. First, though, let's get through the rest of our afternoon. Live look downtown Pittsburgh. We're actually looking a little mostly cloudy out there, but we have that mix across the region. Remember, across our entire region, you're going to have spots where there's not so many clouds, and others it thickens up over a county or two. So that's why we go with partly cloudy, even though what you personally experience may be a wee bit different. We're kind of trying to cover the entire region, and it's a bit tough sometimes because look at this. Look at these clouds even here that were just right there. For these folks, if those clouds are there, at noon or wherever the case may be, that's going to be mostly cloudy or cloudy, while others are clear. All right, anyway, that's the end of that explanation. Southwest winds will continue to gust for us today. As we head into the overnight hours, what's going to ultimately happen is we have a cold front approaching. And that's the weird thing we've had. 3 fronts in 3 days, all arriving at roughly the same time. Yesterday, it was a cold front. By 5 a.m. yesterday, it was actually where the cold front tomorrow is going to be. This morning at 5 a.m., the warm front was right about here, cutting the area in half. And now with our cold front tomorrow morning, here it is again at 5 a.m. Ahead of it, west winds, because as we get closer to the front, it's going to pull those winds to the west, and we'll have them gusting. And then behind it, we'll have north winds gusting up to 20, 25 miles an hour, but we're still dry. We'll have partly to, again, mostly clear skies, partly cloudy, or even in some cases, mostly cloudy skies out there as we head through our Friday. And of course, it's a cold front. We're going to be a little cooler. Now, Friday into Saturday is the first day in a while where we don't have some kind of front or something pushing through to mess with our temperatures. So our temperatures for most of Saturday look to be pretty similar to tomorrow. So whatever we get Friday, not much change expected heading into Saturday, at least in terms of our highs. Later in the afternoon and evening, clouds will thicken up, winds will shift out of the northeast, and they'll start to increase. What we've got is a potent storm system. It's going to miss us well to the east, but we're going to be close enough to the Arctic air it's dragging in that's going to be our problem that we face Saturday night into Sunday morning, is these gusty northeast winds and temperatures taking a pretty big dive Saturday into Sunday. We could have wind chills Saturday night into Sunday, upwards of down to 0 to 10 below 0. So it's our first really big cold break here. We've had some chilly temperatures, and I know we've had some lows in the upper teens, but we're talking bitterly, if not potentially for some, dangerously cold temperatures. So for today, enjoy it. Upper 50s, and as I mentioned, down to the southwest, some low 60s, not out of the question. Southwest winds gusting to 25, and as we've seen, up to 30, not out of the question either. Partly cloudy tonight, west winds still gusting to 25, back into the upper 30s, so very similar to what we had this morning and yesterday morning. Tomorrow, though, another cool down into the upper 40s out there, north winds gusting to 20, and again, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Now we go Saturday, upper 40s on Saturday, but then we're down into the teens, some of our northern counties in the single digits. And then we're only into the 20s on Sunday. So if you're heading out for church, you're heading out on Sunday, anything you're doing late Saturday into Sunday, bundle up, all right? Because like I said, we could see those wind chills 0 to 10 below 0. And so it's our first real big taste of Arctic air heading in this weekend. But then look at Sunday night. We only drop a few degrees because Mother Nature, who cannot make up her mind at all here lately, we start warming right back up by Monday, 40s, Monday and Tuesday, 50s, Wednesday and Thursday, and maybe even into Friday, and possibly even low 60s by next week. So we're talking a 30, 40 degree difference in a 5 or 6 day period. And some shower chances in there. They're slight, but some shower chances in there as well. So it's a brief cool down, but this one this weekend could be a bad deal for some folks. So do bundle up out there.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Chris. Well, stick around. We're making marmalade Dijon pork chops in Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, Howard's recipe for marmalade Dijon pork chops are so quick, it'll make gathering at the table a bit easier.
60 years ago, Americans spent about 90 minutes each day eating dinner together. Now that time has dwindled to less than 12 minutes. It's something that can't be ignored. According to the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse, kids and teens who eat dinner 3 or more times per week with their families do better in school, are less likely to be overweight, are more likely to eat healthier, are less likely to get involved with drugs and alcohol, and have a better relationship with their parents. One way to get everyone to spend more time at the table is to serve them something they're gonna love. So how about sauteing a few thick-cut pork chops that we've dusted with some seasoned flour until they're golden? And to take them over the top, we simmer them in a sauce that we made by combining some orange marmalade, a splash of OJ, and a bit of Dijon mustard. Not only are these easy to make, but everyone at the table is gonna love them. And you know what that means. They're gonna wanna stick around looking for more. And while they're there, they'll be talking up a storm. To get the recipe for our marmalade Dijon pork chops, head over to our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found the perfect gather around the table way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, again, warm and windy today, cool and windy tomorrow with another cold front. And then, again, watching out potential for some potentially dangerously cold temperatures Saturday night into Sunday. Down teens and single digits. Wind chills could be up to 10 below zero or down to 10 below zero. Bitterly cold Sunday into the 20s, and then we warm back up next week through the 40s, 50s, ultimately the 60s with some showers possible Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Still all over the place.
Not excited for this weekend.
No, not in the slightest.
Well, thank you. What do you have coming up for us tonight?
Well, lots coming up at 5. For starters, imagine losing decades of memories without warning. So what happened to a man in California became a medical mystery for months. His story of finding treatment and closure. Plus, Miami's Good Neighbor Project's working to prepare their new building for community members in need before temperatures drop. And it's distribution day for the Chuck Stott's Big Santa program, helping make Christmas a reality for all children. Join us for those stories. A lot more, of course, it's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
Those all sound great, Dal. Thank you so much. Well, that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Have a great afternoon.